Ball State Sports Link's Third Down Chirp is delivered by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Visit papajohns.com today for more info.
Winning. It's a simple concept, but so hard to do. This week, one game has the attention of a nation. In one defining moment, a team must endure the impossible, go on the road, and knock off the best. This is the game that defines a season, that defines a team, that defines a championship. One mistake, one bad play, and the dream disappears.
It is the week everybody has been waiting for, well, since week one. It is Northern Illinois week, and it's the battle for the MAC West. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another great episode of Third Down Chirp, delivered by Papa John's. I'm your host, Luke Martin, alongside Zach Hughes, Tyler Bradfield. All right, Zach Hughes, the game you've been bringing up the past couple of weeks, we can finally talk about it now with Northern Illinois.
I'm so excited that Ball State was able to win on Wednesday night. We can talk about this as it is a top 30 matchup in the nation. So excited for this game.
I'm ready for it. It was a nice win over Central Michigan to gear up for this game on Wednesday. But is it Wednesday yet? I'm ready for kickoff.
It is. We think we are all ready for kickoff. Muncie, Indiana is ready for kickoff for this national TV contest. But pump the brakes a little bit. Let's relive the win against Central Michigan with our Sounds of the Game segment with Tyler Bradfield's radio play-by-play calls on 91.3 WCRD, Ball State Sports Link Radio.
From Schumann Stadium on a cold and rainy Wednesday night in Muncie, Indiana, where the bright lights are on for some Ball State football. The Cardinals first and goal to go from the 8-yard line. Snap to winning from the gun. He drops to his own 15 to throw. He's looking end zone. He throws end zone. Right side is Williams. Williams making the catch. Touchdown, Ball State. Dropping to throw his rush, throwing right side. He's picked off by Jeffrey Garrett across the 40. Returning it down the near sideline to the 40 of Central Michigan. Three receivers in the pattern. Snap to winning out of the shotgun. He'll throw down the slot left side to Smith. Blown coverage by Central Michigan. And Smith trots openly right into the end zone for a touchdown. As they move Fitton, the fullback, into the backfield. Snap to rush under center. Handoff to Abali. He's met in the backfield and wrapped up at the 40. The ball pops loose. Jonathan Noose of the Ball State's acting like they have it. The officials point to our right. The Ball State Cardinals have stretched their winning streak to 7 games and 11 straight Mid-American Conference wins. The record is 12. They improved to 9-1 on the season with a 44-24 win over Central Michigan.
The Cardinals dominate Central Michigan for win number 9 on the season, which is as many wins as Ball State had all of last year. Keith Winnie continued his great play, throwing for 299 yards on 20 of 29 passes with 4 touchdowns. Not to point just Keith out, but Mr. Winning has thrown for 18 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions the past 5 games, including 12 touchdown passes in a row without an interception. Keith Winning continuing his great play and a big reason why the Ball State Cardinals are getting that all-important W at the end of the game. But let's go through our opening drive with our three main headlines over the win against Central Michigan. Zach, what stood out to you?
Well, you kind of alluded to it, but it was how well Keith Winning handled the weather and the weather of that game. It was basically a monsoon out there in Muncie, and it was so cold. And Luke, you and I were on the sideline. Tyler, you were lucky enough to be in the press box, but I was just so impressed with how Keith Winning opened that game, getting out to a 31-3 lead at halftime. He played so well in the weather, and it was one reason why Ball State got the win over Central Michigan.
You briefly alluded to my opening drive, and that was the hot start by Ball State. They jumped out to a 21-0 lead over Central Michigan and didn't look back from there. They scored on 5 of their first 6 drives in the first half. Ball State's done a very nice job of getting out to a hot start so far this season. They've had 10 opening drives to start a game. They've scored on 7 of them, doing it with a nice mix of run and pass. Against Northern Illinois, it's going to be a must that they get out to a hot start.
And this is coach speak, but letting the foot off the gas pedal. I think I've spent too much time around Coach Limbo, but Coach Limbo was not pleased with how his team, especially the defense in the second half of the football game, let their foot off the gas pedal a little bit. There has not been a game yet this year where you can say Ball State has gone out and dominated somebody for 60 minutes. There's always been a section of that game, a quarter of that game, where they kind of not all were there. I understand if you get the secondary guys, you get the second team guys in and they blow a couple plays. There were some series where the starters were out on the field and Central Michigan drove down the field. And playing a really good Northern Illinois team this week, you're not going to be able to afford some of those mistakes late in the game. And that's exactly what Coach Limbo, trust me, Coach Limbo is letting his team know about letting their foot off the gas pedal. Well, campus is buzzing about this Northern Illinois game, which means the students have some burning questions of their own for some Ball State football players, as here is this week's Fan Q&A with some Ball State football players.
This question's for Scott Secor. If you could be any animal, what would it be and why?
I'd have to say a cheetah. I mean, they're quick. They're pretty quick animals, and they're. I mean, when they want something, they don't stop till they get it.
Hey, this question's for Coach Lustig. If you could live anywhere, where would it be and why?
Oh, that's a tough one. Well, you know what? Probably Erie, Pennsylvania. Believe it or not, that's my hometown, and a lot of people that'll hear this will laugh at that because I take a lot of pride in my hometown and just enjoy being back with friends and family, and so Erie, PA.
Huge thanks to the Ball State students asking those all-important questions that sometimes we forget here on Third Down Chirp as the host and as the analyst. But now let's move on and meet this Northern Illinois Husky football team. A big-time football game Wednesday night on ESPN2. The Huskies, they are led by first-year head coach Rod Carey, who he replaced Dan Dorn last year. He did coach the Orange Bowl game for Northern Illinois. But how about this Northern Illinois football program? They are the measuring stick of success for the Mid-American Conference with 3 11-win seasons, 7 bowl appearances, 4 MAC championship games, and 7 times finishing first or second in the MAC West in the past decade. And by the way, the Huskies are led by quarterback Jordan Lynch, who is receiving votes for some award called the Heisman Trophy. I've heard that is a pretty hefty award and one that a lot of football players would like. Well, now it is time to see from a coaching perspective with our Third Down Chirp Scouting Report with Ball State Offensive Coordinator Rich Skrosky and Defensive Coordinator Jay Bateman.
Well, I think the number one thing is you got to fit everything right. You know, I think they do such a great job of giving you different looks and motions and shifts and unbalanced, and to try and get you to uncover a gap. And then, you know, he's got the ball in his hands and you don't have an extra defender because the quarterback can run it, you know. So it's a challenge, but I think our kids are ready to go.
I think it starts with their front. I think their front, it's comprised of 6 seniors, which, you know, they lost some good players last year, but that's where their program is. You know, it's a true program. It kind of just, you know, some seniors graduate and they got more seniors, you know, playing behind them. So I think it starts with their front. In terms of preparation, you know, it is. It's like I told the kids, we're going to prepare the way we always prepare. It's, you know, I'm not going to say it's another game because it's one of, you know, great importance, but that's why you go through the grind that you go through here for the first, you know, 10 weeks of the season, in the summertime, in the wintertime, in spring ball, to get into opportunities like this. So go out Wednesday, cut it loose, and have some fun.
Huge thanks to Coach Skrosky and Coach Bateman for taking time to scout those Northern Illinois Huskies. It should be a great game Wednesday night, primetime TV again for the Ball State Cardinals and the Mid-American Conference. But guys, Coach Limbo talked about in his weekly press conference how this is not a good week to be Jay Bateman trying to come up with a game plan to stop Jordan Lynch and those Northern Illinois Huskies on offense. But now it's time for Coach Hughes, Coach Bradfield to unleash their game plan and their X factor for the game Wednesday night. Zach, let's start with you.
Guys, it's kind of an easy way out for me, but my X factor for the game is Keith winning, and I think his play is going to be so important. Last year against Northern Illinois, he threw it 71 times, and that is outrageous to me. There's no reason he should be throwing that much with Juwan Edwards and Horatio Banks in the backfield. I just don't think if Ball State gets in a shootout with Northern Illinois, I don't think it's going to end well for them because Jordan Lynch has so much firepower. So if Keith winning, if he can just stick to the game plan, hand it off a little bit, and they set up the running game, then he can attack with Willie Snead and all the receivers we know he has. But Keith winning, don't throw it 71 times, and I think Ball State will be in a good position.
Well, I'm the furthest person that you should be, be accounting for to coach the Ball State Cardinals. No credentials in that sense, but I will point out that Ball State's Brian Jones needs to have a big day. Northern Illinois likes to throw a lot of screen passes, and that reminds me of a team in the name of Toledo with Bernard Reedy. Northern Illinois has a guy similar to that in Tommy Lee Lewis. Against Toledo, Brian Jones drew the assignment of tackling in the open field against Bernard Reedy, had a team-high 13 tackles. He's got to be huge for Ball State.
Got to be huge for Ball State. Zach Hughes going with Keith winning. That's a hard one to pick. Well, that's why I'm going with the whole Ball State defense, right? I know that's a cheap way to take out of it too, but this is a huge key. The Ball State defense has got to show up. They got to make plays. Tyler kind of alluded to, Tommy Lee Lewis is a heck of a player too. This is not just a one-man show in Jordan Lynch, but he is 7th in the country in rushing yards. He's a quarterback. So that's going to be a lot of fun for Coach Jay Bateman and the Cardinals. But the defense got to step up and make some big-time plays for the Ball State Cardinals Wednesday night. Well, Coach Limbo, he's a pretty important guy to the game plan as well. We caught up with head coach Pete Limbo this week, and here are his keys to victory for the Ball State Cardinals to pull out a win against Northern Illinois.
Well, as much as you're playing a great team and a great program and a program that's really positioned itself to be a dominant player in our league every year, it's more about us. And if we take care of the football and we make good decisions and guys play cohesively, we'll give ourselves a chance just like we have the last 2 years.
Always great to catch up with head coach Pete Limbo as he's getting ready for the big-time football game Wednesday night. All right, now it's time. It's time for the predictions. Biggest game of the year, MAC West Championship on the line, the opportunity to go to Detroit. Zach Hughes, who are you going with in this big-time football game?
This was so hard for all of us guys to choose this game and all the research we did, but if you look at this Northern Illinois team, 20 straight conference wins, that's incredible. And I think a big key to this game is they haven't played since November 2nd, so it's going to be 11 days since they last played. I think those extra days rest give them a little bit of an edge over Ball State, who played last week. I have NIU in this one, you guys, 38-35.
Well, I could agree with you 100% on that. You know, Ball State had a couple extra days to prepare for Central Michigan. Look how that turned out. They came out to a very hot start, and they played very well. So you could bring up that point, and I agree with you, Zach, on that. But I also think that Northern Illinois right now is too one-dimensional, and Ball State is far from that with all the offensive weapons that they have. And I do think that Ball State has a little bit of edge on the defensive end. I think they have a better defense of the two. So I'll go 42-38 Ball State with the win.
Can you guys hear that? That is the angry mob waiting outside for Zach Hughes, picking the Northern Illinois Huskies. This is why I think is going to be the difference and the main factor in this game. Ball State's defense. They are much better than they have been in the past. There have only been 2 fourth-quarter leads that Coach Limbo and his team have blown when they've headed into the fourth quarter with a lead, both against Northern Illinois. I think it's just poetic justice type of deal. I think they get an opportunity again to go on the road to DeKalb and get a big-time football win. Zach Hughes, he stole my prediction, of course, stole the score. But I'm going to go Ball State 38, Northern Illinois 35. And they get the big-time win on the road in DeKalb. Hey, nonetheless, it should be an exciting football game Wednesday night. Be sure to watch. It's going to be a lot of fun. Once again, that does it for this episode of Third Down Chirp, delivered by Papa John's. Remember, you can follow SportsLink on Twitter and like them on Facebook for all the update in Ball State sports. It should be huge. Ball State SportsLink is great on Twitter and social media. For our producers and Alex Seitz and Drew Adamson, for Zach Hughes, Tyler Bradfield, I am Luke Martin saying so long from Studio B. We'll talk to you next week.